Episode 168. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We have Conan and we have Frankenstein. Just in time for Halloween. Let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yes, let's talk about comics because we're about to fulfill our Lords of LA. That is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. And yeah, it's plenty of vampire action. We have blood, sex, and blood and violence. But there's issue 1, and we also have issue 2. I am signing them. So if you would like any of them, let me know. So here's the second one. This is the one cover I've ordered. But yeah, we have Marilyn Monroe in it and stuff to that effect. So again, if you want one, just let me know. And the artwork looks pretty good in there. And I will figure it out. We'll just put something in the comments section. All right, plus we're going down to our final week of Mythlord's classic monster card game with art by the magnificent Mark Spears. He does plenty of cover art for Marvel and DC, Spawn, and others. So yeah, you can go to mythlords.net. Or go to the description below and you'll find the link for Kickstarter. And it comes with little figures as well, like Frankenstein and Dracula. And it's lots of fun. The artwork is phenomenal, so definitely check that out. All right, so let's jump into Conan by Jim Zub. We are on episode, or issue, technically it's an episode 2, of 16. We are going down to only 2 issues, 2 comics per video, so we can get things done more quickly. I think maybe I'll get more viewers in that don't want to watch something that's almost a half hour. So you can jump around to the next one. There's chapter list below as well. So this is the story of, because we started out a new run or a new arc in the last 2 issues, where Conan is somehow, and some reason, walking around in the snow. Doesn't seem like his kind of thing, but we're doing it anyway because there's a frost giant out there and a frost giant family just hanging out and, going to picnics and eating people and things to that effect. But the daughter is not very giant-y. She's very small, and she's like the normal person's size, so she really wouldn't be a giant. So, but anyway, she's appeared to Conan, and he didn't know if she was real. But in the last issue, he had a piece of her clothing that he ripped off her. Good going. So meanwhile, he's hooked up with this other group that really don't like him because they were just in a battle and he was the only one that lived out of that little platoon that was fighting. But anyway, this is kind of a throwaway issue, which is my problem with it. The artwork is phenomenal, but there isn't anything. In fact, the daughter of the frost giant doesn't even show up in this one at all. So he's just thinking, and he thinks back to his dad, who talks about Crom, and he's not sure if he believes in Crom. And he's like, you have to believe in Crom, and they have like an earthquake and stuff to that effect. And they're like, oh, that's Crom's demons walking around and stuff like that. But yeah, again, the artwork is phenomenal, and he's thinking back to his episode with the daughter of the frost giant, and I'm just going to call her the goddess from now on, because they do refer to her as the goddess. But yeah, she's not really in it. That's the only page she's in, and it's a flashback. So we don't progress the story at all. But anyway, we got this drunk fucker that decides that he's going to mess with Conan, which is not a good idea. And then he's thinking back to Crom and, his relationship with his friends and his fighting of his friends that, again, we bring up Crom. And his dad, is about to slap him upside the head. But then his dad says, you know what, I don't really know I believe in him either. But we go back to this fight with this guy, and he warns him. He says, "Don't do it, don't do it." And he goes to hatchet him, and he gouges out his eye. And you would think that the guy at that point would stop, but he doesn't. He keeps going to the point where Conan's like, "You know what? I got your axe now. Oh, you're gonna try to drag your ass away now? Yeah. Keep dragging, buddy. Keep dragging. Oh no, you got an axe in the head." Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know where that came from. And of course, some of the other of the clan show back up, and he's like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "Well, he attacked me. What are you gonna do?" "I don't know. I got this axe in my head. He had a head. Now he doesn't have a head." And but again, we go back to this flashback of, his dad saying he doesn't believe in Crom. So, of course, he gets excised from the clan. And he's like, "I didn't need to be with you guys anyway." And he looks, as he's walking around, he looks up and he sees, whatever is in the distance, some kind of a city or something like that. But yeah, nothing really happens. I mean, we have a little fight scene, and we see a flashback. But I could have gotten that same information in like 5 pages. Why did it take 20 pages to tell me this? So anyway, I think he kind of dropped the ball on this one. So I'm not really liking this storyline anyway. I think it's slow. I don't think there's much to it. There's not much meat. The last one with Conan Goth and stuff like that was far better. All right, so let's jump into Frankenstein. So this is a retelling. But in this case, we have a boy that probably is 10 years old named Paul. And he was there as he witnessed Frankenstein and I would say Igor, but it's not Igor. His name is Fritz. I don't know, man. Because he also changed the Henry and Victor. It's supposed to be Victor Frankenstein. But it's not. It's Henry Frankenstein. He made somebody else Victor, like the best friend. And he's supposed to be married to Elizabeth. I do like what we got going on here, but Paul ends up seeing them dig up his dad that recently died and taking his hands. And he follows them back to the castle, and he tries to kill Frankenstein for, not the doctor, not the creature, for doing this to his father. And Fritz stops him, but then the last issue, Fritz tries to take on the monster, and that doesn't go very well. So Fritz/Igor is now dead, and I like how they kind of start with, they see where the pieces came from, what the person was like when they were alive, that he took the body parts from. But Elizabeth is standing by him, and I was kind of wondering why this woman would stand by this guy who's reclusive. He's not very, emotional in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't give her anything that she would need as a relationship. And that's what this guy is doing. I guess he'd been a friend of hers for a while, and he professes his love right when she's supposed to get married. So, of course, she's like, "Yeah, this is not really appropriate. My carriage is here. I'll see you later." So he's feeling sorry for himself, and this guy comes out of the little alley, and he's like, "How about a drink?" "Oh, I forgot to take the liquid out the bottle. I'm just going to hit you with the bottle a few times." But anyway, there's the heart coming out. And of course, they didn't. I don't know where that actually came from, but anyway, there's Elizabeth, and she's going to have a conversation with the father, which is the Baron. But we end up with Paul coming out of the carriage where he's been hiding, and she immediately mothers the child, Paul. And she immediately tries to feed him and soothe him because, he's lost his father, and her maternal instincts are coming out in this case. And she's like, "Don't worry, we're going to take care of you," etc. And I thought that was really sweet. And she tells him everything about her relationship through the years with Henry Frankenstein. I still can't get over why it was changed, but we needed that because obviously they've known each other since they were, his age, like 10 years old. So she's always dreamed of marrying him, I guess, and this is a realization of that fantasy, the childhood fantasy. But otherwise, I can't see why she would love him, but she does. So we get some really nice artwork with the monster, and they try to basically subdue him with a needle. So they jab him in the back with a needle, but he smacks the guy away because they're going to try to dispose of him. And that doesn't really go very well. He strangles him. But the injection comes in at the last moment, and he does fall unconscious. But they're like, we're going to dispose of him. Don't worry about it. And that's not going to obviously go as planned. So, meanwhile, the Baron tells the little boy to get the hell out. And he's like, but Elizabeth. And he's like, I run this house, not Elizabeth. Now get out. And there they are. The doctor is now going to dispose of the creature, but the creature then wakes up and, of course, kills the doctor. And we get a really nice kind of retro picture there of the of the laboratory and things to that effect. But, yeah, the doctor is dead and not Frankenstein. This is like his mentor. So anyway, he's like, I'm not going back. Paul says, I'm not going back to the orphanage. And he just hops off, and the carriage guy is just like, So anyway, they're pushing up the marriage, the wedding, and I don't think Elizabeth is very happy with this rush job that's happening. And she's like, I still love you no matter what, but you need to get out of this funk that you're in. He's like, I don't know if I can because I have mental issues. No, he doesn't say that, but he does. So anyway, again, I like all the red, but they find out the monster escaped. So in all his wisdom, he locks her in the room. Good idea. That's a really good idea because back in the day when it was locked, you needed the key. You can't just open it from the inside. The locks didn't work that way. So apparently he comes in through the window, and apparently she can't go out through the window. But she faints. It looks like she faints here, and he grabs her. This is why I'm confused by the ending. Okay, so let's get to the ending here, to the last page. So it looks like everything is demolished, and I don't know if she's fainted or if he's killed her. So I guess we'll find out in the next issue, because it looks like he wrecked the place. I guess he didn't like the decor. He's like, I like it like this. So that's it for that. But it is a good retelling, I think. I don't know if Frankenstein would work as a movie. It's been tried so many times that it's so tropey that I just don't think it would work anymore. If you're going to go watch it, go watch the old stuff. But I don't think a retelling on the screen would work. All right, so let's do a recap. I like it, but I just don't think it would work in today's time because it's been borrowed from so many times. All right, and then you have Conan. I would love to see a new Conan movie, but not this one. There's nothing to this right now. I think we're 3 issues into it, and there's nothing going on. Well, let's see. It's issue 16, so I think we're 4 issues in, right? Because the last one ended at 12. So, yeah, there's nothing there. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it if you watched all the way till the end. Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. Let me know what you guys are reading, if you're reading anything, or are you just watching this to see what Marvel and DC and the independents are putting out in case it does show up on the small or big screen. That's kind of why I do this as well. Also, if you can subscribe, please do. I'm trying to grow the channel out. Of course, I do reviews on movies. I'm going to go see You're a Monster tomorrow with the girl from Melissa Barrera from Scream. And that she was also in the Ballerina Vampire one. I think she's really good, actually. I'm sorry that she got pushed out of Scream. But yeah, I'm going to go see that, and then I'm also going to do a review on Vox Machina. I finally finished Vox Machina, the third season. So we'll do that as well. Also, remember to go to mythlords.net and pre-order the classic Monsters card game, where you can play as your favorite classic monster, whether it's Dracula, Frankenstein, the Creature from the Deep, or the Wolfman. And of course, we have the Bride, Mr. Hyde, and yes, that rhymes. And we have the Mummy, and we have the Headless Horseman. You're fighting over locations. There's plenty of so much content in here, and this is all you need to do to play. And we also have a Dark Oz expansion, which we're also going to be unlocking a 5th player who can play as the Wicked Witch. Pretty cool. All right, well, that's it for me. Check out some of my other videos as well. I will see you guys on the next episode, and have a great week. All right, bye-bye.